Empowerment of all citizens that they may stop depending on the government or falling into crime, prostitution, and other unsavory ways of making money is one of the things we mentioned in our video of What Are We Fighting For? Viyal Naidoo and his team are actively doing this through their 8 to 10 week cybersecurity program. Upon successful completion, participants receive a Cisco Introduction to Cybersecurity certificate, which can be a stepping stone toward more advanced certifications, such as Cyber Ops Associate and CompTIA Security Plus. This course serves as an entry point for anyone looking to build a career in IT security, cloud technology, or networking. Today was the last session for the current group of participants, and I was invited to give a short message to the students, and I thought I would share this with you. This is our mission. One by one, let us build, uplift, educate, and empower all South Africans. Viyal Naidoo decided to better his fellow citizens by giving something of value. He's teaching them how to fish instead of giving them fish. I'd like to say thank you to Viyal Naidoo and his team for what they are doing for these young people in these communities, sacrificing their time and resources so that someone may learn how to catch fish instead of waiting for the ANC to give them fish. Contribute to the change in someone else's life. Partner with others doing the same. Here's the video. Enjoy.
And speaking of empowerment, it is my absolute honor to introduce a special guest who we have tonight. Our guest is the host of YouTube channel Citizen Concerned. She hosts a platform known for amplifying voices, tackling real world issues, and asking the tough questions that lead to change. She has traveled, spoken, and advocated for communities, and tonight she is here to share insights on responsible citizenship. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Katlego Moaki. Hi Katlego, it's an absolute honor to have you here with us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Guys, for those of you that don't know, Katlego is the host of Citizen Concerned. So at the end of this call, if we could all have a look at her work, like and subscribe on her videos. Katlego, what we're doing here is basically a community empowerment project. We get individuals from different sectors, such as HR, to explain to the students, on how the hiring landscape has changed. We've also invited recruiters to give us tips on CVs, LinkedIn profiles. We've had CEOs of cybersecurity companies, and we've also brought in yourself. And you are here for this voice of change that I personally resonate with, and I think that you are doing a fantastic job, and that speaks volumes of the work that you have and the amount of people that you have listening on your platform. Firstly, I'd like to ask, can you just give us a brief walkthrough of your journey on Citizen Concerned and what inspired you to start this journey?
Thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation. I really appreciate it. So Citizen Concerned, although it's something that people know about from about September 2023, it's something that has been going on for a very long time. For years, my husband and I have always been a couple that discusses what is happening in our nation. We've always been concerned to say, why are people voting in the way that they are voting? Why are people behaving in the way that they are behaving? Why are people having so many children outside of wedlock? Why is South Africa and many South Africans in the state that they are in, and beyond South Africa, even all of Africa? And these are conversations that we've always had in our home, debates that we would have regarding what the solutions actually are, what the psychology behind the people is, for them to make the decisions that they make. And for the longest time, we've just been having these conversations, and we asked ourselves, do we think that other people are thinking the same way? Do you think that other homes are having discussions like these? What do other people think about it? But the more we'd go out and see people doing the opposite of what we think many people should be doing, is the more we realize that actually there's a large group that does not see things in the same way. And it might be worthwhile to actually do videos and share the things that we are discussing in our home, share it on YouTube. And so we started, I believe we started in 2020, but then we stopped for a variety of reasons. But just before the 2024 elections, we were like, okay, now this is very necessary. We really need to step up. We really need to do our bit to sort of influence where the elections will go in a way that is positive for all of us. And so in September of 2023, we started the channel up, or we resurrected the channel, and we started again, or we resumed with our videos. And a few months later, here we are with a large following, which we are very grateful for. Many lives being changed, many people sending us DMs to say, actually, I was going to vote this way, but now that you've shown me this, I appreciate it and I'm not going to vote this way. My child has been impacted by this, by what you've said and all of that. And we're very grateful for where we are, and we look forward to making more changes in our nation.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's just about, changing the norm, changing the way we think. I believe that societies today, we are very, very narrow-minded in our thinking. We're not broadening our horizon. And that brings, the power of social media is what you have, platforms such as YouTube, X, as they call it, Instagram, and so forth. So, yeah, thank you once again. From myself, huge fan of your work. The next question I'd like to ask you is, we believe that society is where it is because we have a sort of mindset that says, I want everything that we have is, I need. How can citizens contribute to, for lack of a better term, is the better governance and the community development that we have today? How do you see that going along?
Okay. Based on how we as Citizen Concerned have gotten here, I'd say that a very important thing is to educate yourself. Fact is, there are things that work and there are things that don't work. There are certain nations that have succeeded and there are certain nations that have failed. There are nations that have succeeded and then failed and then succeeded again. But when you look at history, when you look at the world, right, when you look at various leaders across the world in different generations, you see that there's a trend, there's a pattern, there's an equation, if you will, of what works and what doesn't work. So it's very important for every single citizen to understand, to do it themselves, go and study and understand what leads to success and what leads to failure. Success for an individual, a family, a community, a nation, and the continent. So as South Africans, unfortunately, the education system that we have didn't teach us much about what leads to a successful nation. A lot of the things that I know, a lot of the things that I discuss on Citizen Concern are things that I never, ever saw in school. These are things that I had to read in a book, read in an article, watch on YouTube, and then be like, wow, we have been deprived to such a great degree. But instead of just stopping there, that leads me to now want to learn even more. So the first thing that every citizen ought to do is to understand what leads to success. For example, here in South Africa, I can't say how many people, but a lot of people believe that communism is a way. Right? And oftentimes we judge them to say, how can you say communism is a way of life? But when you understand that I didn't know it either, then you understand to say, we just need to teach people to learn, right? So what you need to do is to study as a citizen, understand how you ought to be voting, understand what it takes for you to stand on your own instead of just depending on a grant, instead of just depending on, blame shifting and finding various scapegoats. It is your responsibility to understand, how does somebody in the same situation that I am in now manage to come out and become that successful, whatever, professional, that successful leader, that successful whatever you want to be? Because there are examples of that. We talk about Africa. A lot of people are always about Africa is being oppressed by the West. Africa is being exploited by the West. But there are countries that have far less than what Africa has and have managed to succeed, right? So it's important to understand, how did they succeed? And once we understand what the patterns are, we need to now come back to the voting. When we vote, we need to say, is this person or this political party walking in what leads to the success of nations, or are they walking in what leads to the failure of nations? But if you don't know, if you didn't take the time to study, obviously you're going to vote, you're going to allow your vote to go to who works or who is peddling to my emotions and my feelings the best. So without the knowledge, without you being well informed, you can't make that decision as an individual, for your family, for your community, and your nation. So it starts with being informed. Once you're informed, you can vote properly for yourself and for the rest of us.
Beautiful stuff. And one of the key reasons we also started this is that we believe, as an individual, if we're going to be reliant on the 350 Rand grants throughout your life, you're going to be worth that. So henceforth, this platform that we have is just to expose students to say that, hey, guys, it just requires a little bit of curiosity, and we can do it. And I'm going to quote one who I thought and many thought would be one of the great leaders of our country, and he basically said, poverty starts in the mind. And I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. And as once again, he followed patterns that, which he thought would get him to where he is, and, follow the masses. So, we absolutely resonate with that point that you bring up. The next question I have is, we've seen this large presence of online figures, as they call themselves, public figures and personalities. So, as individuals, how do we critically assess them without being misled, to any biasness or any sort of manipulative narratives that we have? I think I've seen a quote where named capitalism for starting OnlyFans account. So these are the things that we want. So if you can just guide us on that, please.
Okay. So the first thing is what I said in your second question, which is be educated, right? Be informed. Because when you are informed, then when somebody's talking nonsense, you can see through the nonsense. The knowledge that you have can be that filter to say, you sound like you're empowering me, but actually you are encouraging me to be a victim, which is what I don't want for myself. So start with empowering yourself through knowledge. The other important thing is to refrain from joining these things. Like, don't be all about my race. Don't be all about my tribe, because I think that really, really hinders us from critically judging the public figures. If I'm all about, I'm a black person and I should support black, anything black is good, anything white, Indian or colored is wrong, then obviously that's a bias, and I won't judge this black person objectively. I will not be able to judge and see, is this black person really for me or are they not for me? So whether you're black, white, Indian or colored, stop this thing of supporting a person because of their race, supporting them because of their tribe. We have seen it time and time again. People do that. They vote for a particular person because they are of the Zulu clan. They vote for a certain person because this person is Khaled, and Khalids have been, marginalized for a very long time. They vote for this person because this person is black, and voting for a white person is going to lead us to apartheid. That's the story we hear. So once you box yourself into those groups, then that definitely is going to cause you to have a bias. And instead of that helping you, that's actually going to hurt you. We have a lot of people, a lot of public figures who tell you that these white people are anti-you, anti-black, don't support them, don't be their friends, don't forgive them, don't have relationships with them. Yet the same person that is telling you that is a person who's drinking with them, is a person who's going on holiday with them, is a person who's doing business with them. There are securities, there are lawyers, are white people, yet you are being told to refrain from having relationships with these people. So refrain, you need to stop from letting race, tribe, identity, any kind of identity, box you. What you should identify with is excellence. It is competence. It is patriotism. Is this person for the country? Is this person for South Africa? Does this person love the people of South Africa? Does this person know what they're doing? Does this person have the competencies, the expertise, the knowledge, the experience that I need, or a person who is supposed to lead this country? Do they have those things? That's how you ought to judge people. Not are they pretty, are they handsome, are they my race, are they my clan, my tribe, or any of those type of things. But before all of that, you need to have the knowledge in order to sieve through whatever the people are telling you.
That's what we, if I can say, preach as, one love. We all united under one flag, the South African national flag, and that's what we do here. Mm-hmm. There's no biasness or to whatever. Everyone's welcome, and we just want to preach the message to as much people as possible. As they would say, God is love.
Yeah.
And we approach everyday life with unconditional love. We portray that to all citizens. Thank you for that. In closing, is there any remarks that you would love to hand on to the students? Any closing remarks, any words of wisdom that you have for them?
Okay. I think as South Africans, there are many things, many bad and destructive things that we have normalized, right? The whole weekend, thank God it's Friday, I'm going to party, Friday, Saturday, Sunday sometimes, and Monday I might not go to work because I'm drunk. These are the things that have been normalized, but they're destructive to us. So I think one important thing is go against the grain. Stop this thing of trying to be light. Stop this thing of trying to follow trends, because most of the trends that we are following as South Africans are very destructive to us, to our communities, our families, and our nation, right? We have from young girls to old women walking around, half naked, and they think that's the way to go. We have men encouraging that nonsense, and then we want to wonder why we are a nation with the highest HIV rates, right? So it's these small things of saying, this is where everybody, this is what everybody's doing, but is this beneficial to them? Is it beneficial to me? Is it beneficial to our nation? What type of nation are we building with these trends? So what I would say to everybody that's in the meeting is choose to say no to the things that are destroying us. As men, I feel like men really need to rise up now. Men need to rise up and set the standard to say, this is not what we want our women to be like. Our women are not prostitutes. Our women are not sex tools. They are women. We respect them. We love them. And the women in turn to respect themselves, to honor themselves, to be modest, It seems like a silly thing to say, but these are things that used to be a norm in the olden days, but now people are going against that, what is good is turned to be evil. What is evil is being celebrated as good. So these are the type of things I would encourage everybody to do, because it seems like, what does it have to do with everybody else? But once you as an individual are celebrating that, the neighbor is celebrating that, the mother is celebrating that, the teacher, the principal, the ministers are celebrating that, then we have the type of nation that we have. So it's very important for each and every one of us to understand the value of morality, the value of integrity, the value of honesty. And also, we talk about Ubuntu, but I think to a great degree we have lost it as South Africans. How often do we know that our neighbor is without food and we can't even pack a bag of maize meal, some tomatoes, onion, and a tin of fish to give them? Without taking a video, without, making it known, not for that purpose, but for being a human being, for showing the love. What did God say? You will be known by the love that you show to your brothers and sisters. So I think that is another key thing. We need to go back to Ubuntu. Another thing is, instead of us being people that are always waiting for somebody to give us something to take, we need to be professionals, experts. We need to become people that want to offer value. Instead of just wanting that 350 and using it for whatever, have that dignity to say, I'm going to work for my money. I'm going to offer value. And because of the value that I'm going to offer, I will make the money. And I think that you feel better than you do when you get that 350 grant, right? So what else would I say? Be a professional, be a moral person, have that Ubuntu. And the other thing is, let's educate each other. I think we have lost that sense of, I am where I am now because somebody has given me an opportunity. Somebody showed me this. Somebody showed me this online course. Somebody taught me that communism is not the way. Whatever we learn, let us also be able to give to the next person, right? Because you thinking that by giving somebody else, you're losing. You're not actually losing, because when our neighbors improve, we also improve. As professionals, you can't be satisfied that everybody else around you is poor, everybody else is begging, they are prostitutes, they are whatever, because the more we have fewer professionals, fewer people that are experts, fewer people that are giving value in order to get money, the more we increase chances, not in all instances, but some people, when they are in that state, they become criminals. They become people that we don't want to see in our communities. So by helping the next person through knowledge, through encouragement, through the ideas, through empowering them in one way or another, like how you guys are empowering the people, is the more we elevate everybody else. And the country, the community, the family is improving as we are improving. And I think that's a very key thing for professionals. Don't just be focused on yourself. Don't just be focused on, I'm making the money, I'm getting the bag. Also care about, I know the skill, I'm going to share the skill with somebody else. I'm going to be a mentor to that young man that doesn't have somebody to be a father figure in their lives. So that's what I would like to leave the guys with.
Beautiful. And we resonate with those words very much so. We have youngsters here who, as you said, empowerment, they are going to use the skills that they have gathered here, and they are going to go, pass the word on, as they would say. Guys, is there any questions that anyone has for Katlego? Please don't feel shy. Drop it in the chat. I will read it out to her. Katlego, the guys love you. As you can see, the reaction.
Thank you.
Is there an email address that you would love to share to the guys? If there is anything that they'd love to contact you on, if there's anything personal that they would love your wisdom on, can you make that available for them?
Yes, sure. So our email address is info@citizenconcerned.co.za. So info@citizenconcerned.co.za.
Concerned.co.za. Awesome, guys.
Yes.
There's it in the chat. If anyone wants to reach out to Katlego, as you guys heard, you're more than welcome. Katlego, thank you.
Thank you.
We saved the best for last. We believe that education itself, learning, as we can see, we have, if I can use the term, politicians with PhDs, We have the most educated individuals in the world who can't distinguish between a male and a female. So it also brings about, is education everything? But we believe that the wisdom that we receive empowers and trumps it all. So thank you once again for your words of wisdom.
Thank you.
Guys, can we all just give a virtual clap or a high five to Katleko, just to say thank you for sharing your time, and thank you once again. Hey, God bless you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.